Hi guys, it's Narcissa. So I wanted to talk to you about a few different things that's on my mind, and kind of they all fall together. So I just wanted to make this quick little video for you guys and just kind of give you my thoughts about everything that's been going on, because this week, boy, there's been some interesting conversations this week, and I guess this is kind of going to be a rant. So I guess I'll start this out properly, which is to say, so here's the thing. Right. So this week, if you were somehow living under a rock and you did not hear, Miss Kathy Griffin made a lot of people on really both sides of the aisle kind of angry at her for a picture that she released. And I won't share it just because of the fact that I really, here's the thing. I love Kathy Griffin. I will always support everything she does. I really don't think this was as severe as people made it out to be. I feel like people really just blew it out of proportion. People wanted to be bitter about it. People wanted to feel some type of way about it. And unfortunately, it became something that was, I think, made to be more severe than it really was. And I found that kind of annoying, to be honest. And unfortunately, I think what was the most frustrating for me really was the fact that the same people who had an issue with this are the same people who constantly turn around and talk about how free speech is the most important thing, and don't take away our right to free speech. Colleges are too sensitive, they shouldn't be allowed to say that certain people shouldn't come there, and blah 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 blah. And these people are the ones who are saying all of this, but then they turn around and they're like, oh my God, this is so offensive. This is so wrong. Like, how could she do this? And it's just funny to me because it's like, I feel like the reality is for these types of people, the people who constantly talk about free speech, the only free speech they're interested in is being able to call someone like me a tranny, someone else a faggot, calling someone else the N-word. Like, that's the only thing they're interested in. That is their definition of what free speech means. And so anybody else, your free speech doesn't count. And it got me thinking, honestly, this whole topic and this whole thing, it got me thinking about the safe spaces argument. And one of the things I find really interesting about people who are oh my God, safe spaces, that's such a joke, blah, blah, blah. One of the things those people have a tendency to have in common is that lately what they're trying to do is say, oh, well, trans people can't be allowed into a woman's bathroom because without saying the word, they are saying bathrooms are a woman's safe space, and that's why trans women that they see as men shouldn't be allowed in there. So I think it's really interesting to see these people, so against all this stuff, but then when it benefits them, all of a sudden they're like, well, we need a safe space, and you can't, here's the thing. You cannot practice democracy while you look down your nose at it. If you want to say freedom of speech is our most important value and that freedom of speech has to be the most important thing, and by the way, that First Amendment comes with more than just speech. Talk about journalism and how much you're trying to undermine the press, but we won't talk about that because that's not important right now, right, girl? So it's like, if you're going to say that freedom of speech is this important thing, it's this thing we need to hold dear, and it's under attack, and everybody's attacking me because I can't say tranny, or I can't say faggot, or I can't call someone this, whatever, whatever, whatever. If you're going to say that that means your rights are under attack, then you have to support what Kathy Griffin did, okay? You have to. You can't have it both ways. You can't say, this is free speech, I should be able to call someone whatever I want, I should be able to do whatever I want with them, or whatever. You can't say that one is free speech and one is, well, you're just attacking me. That's not how this works, okay? And I don't agree with people using slurs or words that people find offensive or whatever. I don't agree with that. But, I'm at the point where it's like, you can't say one is free speech and one isn't. Okay? Either everything is free speech according to your own fucking shit. That's the thing that kills me the most, too. Because these are the people who are arguing this, and now I'm trying to use their words against them, and I guarantee you there's going to be some people who are like, no, that's blah, 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 blah. And it's like, no, if you support freedom of speech and you support it 100%, and you want to say that, you know, you saying some shit and being hateful, if you want to claim that that's freedom of speech, then what Kathy did has to be freedom of speech as well. Okay? Y'all had no problems with all of the shit you gave Obama for years. And the thing that kills me, and a lot of people have brought this up too, it is very interesting to me that now that he's president, 45 is like, oh my God, it's such a witch hunt. Everyone's so against me. Nobody has ever had this rough of a time. I'm sorry. You personally, sir, made sure that there was so much question, constantly bringing up Obama's birth certificate, constantly bringing up his validity as president, all this shit, and now you want to come back around and be like, oh, I'm so attacked. Nobody has ever, like, been as attacked as me. Like, no, Miss Laganja, you don't get to be very attacked. That's some bullshit. And here's the thing, too. I really think this is interesting, and I'm curious to know what other people think about this. Because I have the feeling that had Ted Nugent or some other, you know, far-right celebrity of sorts done the same thing and created, like, an image like Kathy did, but using Hillary Clinton, I guarantee you 45 would have retweeted that shit himself, okay? Do not get on here and get on your high horse and start talking about how, you know, it's whatever bullshit he wanted to get on about and he's so attacked and it's so horrible and blah, blah, blah. No, girl, okay? I'm sorry. Goodbye. You're full of shit. I can't. You know, the thing of it is, at the end of the day, was her execution the greatest? Probably not. And you know what? She apologized. She said, you know what? I made a mistake. This was not the thing to do. You know, okay. You got to be over it. You got to get over it. It is so not worth continuing. I mean, people fired her for that? For that? Really? Really? And one of the things I thought about almost instantly was, I was like, I don't know if anybody remembers, but before he was even officially elected, there were like drag queens with, you know, piñatas of this asshole, and they were like beating it and setting it on fire. And that was a whole big thing, and nobody talked shit about that. No one said anything about that. They didn't lose their jobs. Nobody gave a shit because everyone was feeling the same way. Immediately after he was elected, everyone was setting their proverbial hair on fire. Before he was elected, we were feeling some type of way, and we were angry as fuck. And you know what? That anger was a good thing. But now all of a sudden, now we're like, no, that's too far. That's a step too far. Like, you can't do that. Like, I'm sorry. I just think, you know, at the end of the day, like I said, it's unfortunate, but there are some people who want to be bitter about everything. And, you know, it goes back to a topic I talked about a long time ago. And it goes back to the, you know, we want to stand so hard for people, but then the minute they do something that we think is questionable, the minute they're like, oh no, we can't have this. This is, you know, whatever, you know, you will drop somebody in a minute once everyone else does. I definitely think the Kathy thing was yet another instance of people just piling on like, oh, everybody's mad at her, so we better just pile it on, girl. Like, you know, and it's sad. And I'm glad to see that, you know, Larry King stood up for her. I'm glad to see more and more people are standing up for her. You know, Jim Carrey. It's great. I think it's important that people stand up for Kathy Griffin and what she said and what she did. Because I think at the end of the day, you know, it's very easy to support people when they do things that don't make you uncomfortable. It's very, very easy to support people, you know, when they do things that make you happy and all of this. But at the same time, it's very, very easy to throw them under the bus when it becomes convenient for you and when they're a convenient scapegoat for you. And I think that's really unfortunate. You know, the bottom line is whatever she did, whatever political statement she was making, this is also a person you have to remember that actually probably knows more about the military and has seen the military and visited the military more than the man who's fucking in charge of sending those people somewhere else. Okay? This is the person who is in charge of, you know, sending people to fucking die for whatever bullshit reason he wants. Okay? And you're pissed at her, who has spent more time with those people, who has seen them more, who has been more there for them. Like, no, I'm sorry. I just think it's such bullshit. It's such nonsense. You know, he just wants the attention. And honestly, you know, I'm sure that it's a great distraction for him. And that's the only thing I could be disappointed in her for, is that by doing this and everyone making it into a big thing, it's allowed for a distraction. And what does he go and do? Fucks up, you know, more in climate change and, you know, ending the Paris deal and all this other shit. And it's like, you know, that is the only thing I'm disappointed in her for. Because for 5 minutes, because of something she did that was not that serious, now all of the attention is diverted from him onto her. And that kind of sucks. That is the only thing I could possibly have a problem with her for. Because what is he going to get away with in this time that everyone wants to focus on her? Because if it continues to be something that people are focusing on her and focusing on what she said, it's going to become something that we're going to ignore him. We're not going to worry about him. Okay, we're just going to completely ignore whatever the fuck he's got going on. God knows what he's doing. And it's just like, we have to think about that. That is the only thing to me that frustrates me about this. I don't think it needed to be blown out of proportion like it was. I don't think it needed to be talked about as much as it was. And frankly, you know, I'm saying it, I'm talking about it, I'm making it a continued thing. It just needs to be done. It just needs to be dealt with. But I wanted to talk about this, and I wanted to, you know, bring it back to the whole issue with the bathroom debates, because I still think that that whole thing is obnoxious and ridiculous. And at the end of the day, all of this kind of, to me, felt like more hypocrisy on the part of the right. And frankly, you know what? A lot of hypocrisy on the part of liberals too. But then I'm coming to realize, the more I actually look into this, and this is going to be a topic that I think Adrian and I are going to discuss in our second podcast of the second season, is what does it mean to be a liberal? What all does that actually entail? Because I'm starting to realize that being a liberal and being a Democrat are not necessarily the same. And there's a lot of liberal ideas and things that are not as progressive as we'd like to think. And, you know, it goes back to the whole topic that we talked about in the last podcast, which was about, you know, liberals selling people up the river so that they could get, you know, things done, allegedly, you know, talking about how Democrats need to end identity politics and all of that sort of thing. And I think that's really dangerous, to be honest. I think this idea that we should not concern ourselves with identity politics, and we should, you know, concern ourselves with middle America and normal America and all that other stuff, I think that's a very toxic narrative that's going to get us into a lot of trouble. But, you know, that's a whole nother topic. That's a whole nother debate. That's a whole nother thing. I realize that I'm not in like makeup. I didn't do any kind of look right now. Kind of just in my PJs and shit like that. But I really wanted to talk about something really, really quickly. And I wanted to just record this video while my thoughts were kind of fresh, while I had it all out there. So I just want to get into this really quick. Because, you know, one of the things that's going on right now, obviously, you know, I did a video. I recorded it yesterday. It's going to go up on Monday. It's now Saturday. I can't even keep track of what fucking day it is anymore. But I recorded this video about the whole Kathy Griffin controversy, and I feel like I really kind of, um, I didn't really realize how big people were even making this. And the fact that, she's under investigation by like the Secret Service, and they're really trying to make it like, oh my God, his kid was so upset by it and all this shit. And, I think what all of this is proving to me, and the idea that she is under investigation, and it's lucky that it's not a congressional investigation, because to be perfectly honest with you, I think, first of all, I said it yesterday, okay? I motherfucking said it in the first video. This is a scam. He is pulling this shit to take the eyes off of him. That is what the fuck this is. I guarantee it. But I guarantee this is something he is using to further his claim that everyone is against him and that, it's gonna be some shit. He is using Kathy as a fucking smokescreen for his own bullshit. I guarantee it. We all know that's what's happening, and the fact that we're letting this happen, the fact that there are people who are letting this happen and we're not watching him. We're watching what she did. We're talking about that shit. It is all kinds of nonsense. We need to be watching this man, okay? Because sure as I am sitting here now, sure as I, my name is Narcissa Deville and I'm a fucking writer, I will tell you right now, he is doing some bullshit. He is pulling some shit. He is pulling the Padge. He is going to fuck us all up, and we cannot let him, okay? The reason I wanted to talk about this again is because I was not aware at the time I recorded the video yesterday that this had become something that, like, I knew she was being fired from, gigs were dropping her. I knew CNN fired her, which I still think is fucking wrong. I knew it was a whole big thing. I did not know, however, that, like, the Secret Service got involved and now they're investigating her and it's become that whole... First of all, that's some fucking bullshit. That is unnecessary. It is nonsense. I don't believe in that. I don't subscribe to that. I firmly still believe that it was overkill. For the amount of times people have, done shit to celebrities and sent them disgusting stuff. And, God, how many women were threatened on Twitter for a fucking video game bullshit? Women were fucking threatened. Women have been, like, had murder threats, rape threats, all kind of fucking threats on them online, but we don't take that seriously. But when it's a fucking picture, let's investigate that shit. Let's get into that shit. Let's really dig into that. Are you kidding me? And let's completely ignore the shit this man, who is our president, has done to women. Let's completely ignore that shit. Let us completely ignore the, journalists who have come forward, female journalists who have said he's sexually assaulted them. We're not going to talk about that. No, because what we need to talk about is a fucking photograph. Which, where the fuck was that even posted? Where was it posted? I didn't fucking see the photograph until people started talking shit about it. I had no clue this was even a thing. And people freaked the fuck out. And again, it took the conversation away from whatever bullshit he's doing and put it on to someone else. And that's the fucking problem with this person. That has always been the problem with him, and that will continue to be the problem with him. If we do not watch him, he's gonna fuck shit up. And that is something that just slays me. What is it gonna take for people to wake the fuck up and realize what this man is about? Because there are people who still fucking support him. There are people who still want to come around and tell Democrats, you need to get over it. You need to just get with the program, blah, blah, blah. It's not that bad, You need to see the people who supported him. They're not that bad, blah, 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 blah. No. Okay? No. I don't buy into that bullshit. I'm sorry. I am trying to be a positive person. I am trying to put positivity out into the world. I am trying. But I do not subscribe to this theory that, oh, those people who voted for him, they're not that bad. You know what? I tried that shit, okay? I did try that, okay? I tried to look at the bigger picture. I tried to say, you know what? Maybe it's not that. Maybe it's not what it looks like. Maybe it's not that everyone who voted for him is a racist. I tried to believe that. I've tried to believe that. And I realized that not just a few videos ago, I talked about that when I talked about the Caitlyn Jenner post. Or when I talked about the conversation with Caitlyn. Okay? I have tried and tried and tried and tried. But he has proven time and time and again he is full of shit. He is, has no fucking clue what he's talking about. Doesn't know what the fuck he's doing. And he's gonna fuck us all up. Leave Kathy Griffin, not to go all Chris Crocker, but leave Kathy Griffin the fuck alone. Okay? This is bullshit. It is taking the eyes off of him where they need to be and putting them on something that doesn't matter. I love Kathy. I, again and again, will say, I will always stand for that bitch. Always. Okay? She has always stood for the queer community. She has always been there. She has always been for the troops more than this president will ever fucking be. Will ever be. But yet, you want to just, oh God, it's so fucking nonsense, stupid fucking bullshit nonsense. And it's done. It needs to be done. Okay? We need to put the fucking, watch the person who's fucking the problem. Okay? We need to be watching him and what the fuck he's doing, what the fuck he's got going on. How are you going to investigate Kathy Griffin when you're not fucking investigating all the bullshit ties between him and Russia? Are you fucking kidding me? And one thing I've said, and I will say this again and again and again and again and again, it kills me how we have gone from a country who did not fuck with Russia, who was not fucking here for Russia. Reagan was very much not for Russia. He was not friends. We were not going to be friends with them. We were not fucking with them. We did not do that. And all of a sudden now we're buddy-buddy with Russia. And everybody who is against that shit is suddenly okay with that. Are you kidding me? When? When did that happen? When did we suddenly decide that us and Russia are fucking BFFs? When did that happen? Are you really so willing to beat up Donald Trump's ass that you don't give a shit? Anybody you hated, suddenly you are in support of. I guarantee you fucking tomorrow, if he came out and said, I fucking worship Satan, all of you motherfuckers would be like, yes, bitch, yes, come on, Satan, give me that fucking shit. You would, because you do not see reality. And if you think, oh, she's comparing Putin to Satan, well, you know what? If the shoe fucking fits, if the horns fit, if the fucking hooves fit, that's what the fuck it is. That is what the fuck it is. And I'm getting real tired of the fucking hypocrisy of some people. How the fuck are you gonna sit up here and say, no, we're fine with Russia. Russia and us, we're good. We're BFFs. We've been friends for years. What kind of Real Housewives bullshit are you trying to pull? Like, are you for real? For real? No. No. It's fucking bullshit. I'm not here for it. I can't sit here and listen to this motherfucking shit anymore, okay? It's so beyond next level ridiculous, okay? The people we need to be watching are this motherfucker, what the fuck he's doing, and the people that are surrounding him that are clearly doing some fucking shady shit, okay? We know, okay? You don't have to do an investigation. You don't have to fucking... We have seen the proof. The proof is staring you in the motherfucking face. We know what the fuck he did. And you can pretend, oh, he wasn't involved in the Russia thing. He wasn't colluding. He wasn't doing... Really, girl? Really? Yeah. And Charlie Manson wasn't directly involved in any of the murders. But his ass is still in jail. So think about fucking that. You know what, 45? I know you're not watching this, but if you are, let me say this directly to you. Using your child as a pawn to make people feel bad for you is fucking disgusting.